Episode 8. Finale time. One last roundup for all the secret shells. In this stage, the stage after, with the Great Shark. The Secret River, a lot I missed there. And I missed everything in the Boiling Cavern, it seems. 4 more stages. To collect shells in, anyway. This one's already almost done though, so... First one I should be looking for is somewhere among all of this ice. Some kind of secret cave. It's hard to tell. The guide I was using had 1 or 2 pictures on where these secrets are. It's not incredibly clear. Well, one of the ones that I missed was apparently over here too. Looking at it now, it's a pretty conspicuous ramp. I tried to get on top of this from the other side, but I guess they want you to go around this way. 2 more in this stage. Somewhere in one of these rock things, there's a hidden cave of some kind, I think. Is this it? This is it. Okay. These 2 are pretty close to each other. Wasn't even really a cave. And actually we're already at the end of this stage, aren't we? The end of the stage is right there. And the last one we need is also right up there at the end of the stage. Never gets old. Tricking off of these sloping sands or snow or whatever. Sometimes lava. Especially with the boost. Really good idea to give the player infinite boost for their second run or all subsequent runs. And yeah, the one that I missed was just right around the corner. I feel like this one should have been obvious, but I, for whatever reason, was just leaving. Actually looking at it, it's not that obvious. I guess it's pretty well hidden. But I guess the trick would be to look at the floor and realize that there's playable floor for you to go on. If you compare it with this side, there isn't really playable floor. At least the floor just leads into the wall. On this side, it kind of leads into the wall, but not completely. Maybe there is no real trick to finding these secrets the first time every time. I don't know. Unless you're using a guide from the get-go. And also during this segment with the Great Shark, it seems like I didn't activate the achievement, the trophy, whatever, for getting all of the water revived, whatever the actual term is. I think while we do this, we can try to get that trophy, but we won't worry about it if we don't. All we really want is the single shell that's there. Just like the single shell that was in the dolphin segment. Only one thing we have to get. And it's also right at the end of the stage. We still don't have to worry about tetrads, but we'll try to worry about finding all of the water points. The orbs. Do sharks do well in Arctic waters, by the way? I don't actually know. Are there like Arctic sharks? I'm not very familiar. This will also be fun to go to, just kind of mainly focusing on getting through quickly. And taking the sights, I guess. Only thing we're really after are those large blue ones. Although, do these also give us water or something? I guess they do. Well, we'll try to find all the lanterns, I guess. It's a bit harder to do it as a shark than the dolphin, because the dolphin gives you some height and you can use that height to scan the area. But again, if we don't get them all, I won't worry about it. We're just here for the show. And of course to enjoy the vibe of the game one more time. Out of all the stages, I feel like the Sacred River is probably my favorite. It just feels like a completely unique aesthetic. I guess from the beginning, the aesthetic was pretty unique in this game, even in the first stage. Kind of a revived, watery landscape over sand, mixed together. Something about the Sacred River is just completely new to me, I don't know. Almost like being in outer space, but also the desert and also a river. It's a lot of things. I guess that's it for the lanterns, other than these. I hope anyway. We can do one last scan. As much as we can from this vantage. I'd say that's good enough. I think the first time I went through this stage, I got most of the lanterns and the revived water stuff. I think the one that I was missing that would have gotten me the achievement was the same one that is actually needed to get the shell in this stage. So hopefully I'm not rushing too much through my second run here. I'm still getting all these lanterns. It's a lot more relaxing when you don't have to worry about breaking all the crystals. Especially the ones that are high up like that. Of course it's still fun to run into them. So there's lanterns over there. Crystal there. More lanterns there. And maybe some more off the edge of the hill that I didn't recognize. Generally speaking, it's just a really cool structure for the game. At the very beginning, when you come out of the small introductory section, you get the title screen, and immediately they show you all of the objectives in the game. You don't really know it at that point, or I guess I didn't. But it's the 3 mountain tops, these 3 triangular pyramid structures, with the tower beyond them. It's all very linear, and I think for a game of this length, it's very, very effective for setting the setting in the player's mind. And even when they show you all the objectives, you don't know what you get into until you get into it. Didn't know we'd go into a snowy segment or a magical space river segment. I think that's all the lanterns here. Just generally speaking, it feels like there's enough space where there isn't too much empty space, like with snow, that the water is taking up that empty snow space well enough. That I don't think there would be lanterns in between, I think. I mentioned I played their previous game, Abzu, in the first episode, but that's actually not true. Their previous game wasn't Abzu, that was the game before this game. They actually made a game called The Passless, which I heard about, but I didn't actually play myself, probably just due to time constraints. If I ever find the time, I think that's also another thing I want to play. It sounds like it's in the same kind of vein of, well, the games that they created here. Sort of The Sea and Abzu. Very pretty exploratory games, but I guess that one has more of a focus on cool platforming and stuff. More similar to this than Abzu. In this area it might be a bit harder to find all the lanterns. All these hills go up and down, to give you some sick air, I guess. But all the little bumps make it hard to see behind them, even from a high vantage point. Any lanterns down there? Got that set of lanterns. Don't want to fall off the cliff here. Got that set of lanterns over there. There might be more behind the hills here. Let's just check quickly. So there were. I'm actually not sure if these count towards the achievement, but it is water, so I think that counts. In the context of the desert, bringing back water sort of made more sense with the whole stone versus sea stuff. Here though, we're putting water on top of snow and ice, which feels like, well, it's already there, it's snow and ice. But I guess there's like another perspective you could look at it from. That snow and ice is sort of like trapped water, isn't it? Frozen and whatnot. In the same way that that one lore piece from the stele told us about how Torn the Moon trapped water and made it stagnant or something. I guess that basically is ice and snow. Sort of. Not really. They don't need a very good reason to include a snowy landscape as part of the game. Or at least not a reason beyond what they already have here. It doesn't always have to be completely fitting with the symbolism of fire and air and earth and water or whatever they mentioned. One last look. I think that's all of them. Yeah, this area in particular is the hardest one to find them, I think. The camera slightly pans out at the top here, so it might actually be a bit easier to find them. I think, yeah, that is the end of the stage, so the thing that I'm missing is actually in this area somewhere. Did I miss it again? I don't see lanterns from here, unlit lanterns. Those ones over there are lit. The guide that I was reading said it was somewhere behind something. Oh, back there, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have checked down here. Ah, everything got a little bit laggy there. Okay, we got the cleansing achievement, good. Return all water, that's the terminology they use. Very hidden, this one. At least for me it was. Oh, and what's this? Oh, this must be like one of the Ghost Warrior's swords. Cool. Neat even. Fantastic. Glad I saw that before I finished this series. If I missed that alongside the secret shell, then I can only imagine all the stuff that I missed in the Boiling Caverns. Among the 5 shells or so that I missed in the Frozen Tundra too. Or the Sacred River. Smashing all barriers. Then Tornamoon breaks our sword. And the shark bails on us. Unbelievable. I guess the shark makes one final appearance during the fight against Tornamoon. It was just waiting until we were ready. And then Tornamoon bails. I guess Tornamoon remembers when it lost to the Wanderer, if I'm remembering the lore right. Did it end in like some kind of stalemate, where the cycle wasn't restored and Tornamoon was pushed back or something? Or did Tornamoon win originally? We know that there was a sort of war with the race and the Wanderer and Tornamoon and all that. Didn't get a sense for how it ended though. Or maybe the fight never really ended until this game. There's a kind of parallel, an obvious parallel, between your characters. But it's interesting that the Wanderer is mortal and you're not. Whatever the race is. One of Tornamoon's nameless mooks, I guess. Yeah, this made it look like we were going directly to the tower after reaching the second mountain. But all along, I guess we were still going to the third mountain. And here we are. The Sacred River has 5 missing shells. The first 2 I remember fairly clearly. I'll try to remember the rest as I go along. I remember the first 2 clearly because they were at the very beginning here. Right over in the back. Maybe I should have recognized that this could be playable space here. It's actually kind of hard to reach there without the high jump. I'm just keeping in mind that you can unlock everything with just the normal jump and the things the game gives you. Not that I have to do all of that. It's just an interesting way to think about the game, I guess. If I tried to find this on my own, I might have even suspected... Well, if I tried to jump around on these statues, I wouldn't have expected that there'd be even more hidden back here. And actually I'm going the wrong way. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's that telltale glow. Very hard to see. Unless you pan the camera all the way around. Some of them are hidden more than the others. Alright, and then around. Yeah, they put a little rocky outcropping here just to hide that glow. A little bit. Or I guess to hide the shell, so you can only find it through the glow if you're looking around. But again, just like the last stage, it's all blue here, isn't it? Much easier to see the glow in the first stages, the Lost Grotto and the desert. Or the Veiled Sea, rather, which is a desert. The second one that I'm missing is just up ahead, which was actually a bit more obvious than this first one. At least I think it's obvious. Yeah, that hole right there. I just kind of ignored it, went up the ramp. Guess what you're supposed to do if you don't have high jump is turn around and grind into it. And there it is right there. It's sort of like a chapel. It reminds me of Anor Londo from Dark Souls. Specifically these diagonal ramps that you would have to platform on as part of the actual main course to get through the game. That part in Dark Souls is probably one of these segments that kind of solidifies it as solidifies the level design, I guess. The sort of design philosophy, I think. That's not always going to be an obvious path forward or something, even for the main route. And of course, the real hidden secret stuff is even more secretive and hidden. So after this, I can't say I fully remember everything we had to do. And I don't even know if I fully cleansed this area. We're not going to really worry about it. I'm just after the shells. We don't need to grind. We have the boost and we have the high jump. And I remember getting the secret shell at the top of this room. I guess, thinking back, I must have been the first secret shell that I found in this stage. At the time it felt like a proper first secret shell to find. We're not too far into the stage. We're still in this beginning segment. But all the while I had missed 2 shells completely. And here's our panoramic shot. The one I used for the thumbnail. What am I going to use for the thumbnail this time, I wonder? So in this area, I think we got a shell over there or something. I believe the first shell we're missing is one along the perimeter over here, which we have to get later into the stage for. And I think another one near the boat too. We can beeline it there. We don't have to light all the boats this time. I still haven't learned if that's actually a trophy or not. I'm just going to assume it's not. It's entirely possible I missed lighting some boats in my first run. Lighting of the boats was really just an excuse to explore the entire stage in my first run, see everything that I wanted to see, and try to find all the secrets that I could. I say it was an excuse, but I was actually hoping for a trophy or something. Alright, somewhere over here. I suppose we might as well turn the boat back on before we do anything else. Do I even have to light these? I can probably just use the high jump and the boost to get on top of these. I say that, but it is actually looking a little bit high. And there's the boat. Not necessary for the shells, but necessary for progression. And also necessary to look cool. It just looks very cool when all lit up. So I do think there were 2 shells around this area that I can remember. That last shell though, I'm having trouble remembering. I might have to whip out my phone. Oh, you know I didn't activate the other part of the bridge. Or any other part. We'll get there though. This also isn't necessary, but it's cool. Look at that view. Look at that view. Wow. I didn't think we could get this high. Something about the boost in this thing. The timing. I boosted right after I hit it, I think. Right before I hit it? Yeah, that was it, I think. Maybe right as I hit it. I feel like I got higher last time though. Like crazy high. It was insane. I don't feel like I'm getting it anymore. That's fine. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, I should have been using that height to examine the area. So over along that edge, I think, was one. And also there, that shell. I must have panned my camera over it during my first playthrough and just never noticed. So yeah, we're meant to grind over here. And all this just looks like set dressing to me, but we are actually meant to go in between all of this. Next one should be right along here. Another edge that I guess I kind of ignored. Looking at it now, it seems fairly obvious. I mean, some of the edges above aren't playable space. They put the old invisible wall there. But this one seems playable enough, I guess. Only missing 6 now. 1 more in this stage, and then 5 more in the Boiling Caverns, all 5 of them that I missed. I've been trying to remember where that last one is, playing out the entire remaining level in my head. It has to be after this, so I'm pretty sure it's in that later segment. Ah, a few missed inputs there. Pretty sure we collected everything over there. We don't have to do the time trial. Oh, that might not be good, actually. Damn. I should have jumped at the end. Maybe it would have given us the extra height. Okay, well, I guess I didn't touch solid ground, did I? Rather than taking out my phone, I'm just trying to remember as we get later into the stage. It's a different game when you're not going after every single thing. Can we get up there without the lamps? Almost. Maybe if I were a bit better. Nothing about these lamps should sequence break us or soft lock or whatever us. I guess the term would be sequence break rather. As long as you can get up here, you probably don't need to activate all of those lamps. I do remember the shell up there in that floating island. Well, I guess we have to do this to get through the stage anyway, so let's try to find our way through again. Compared to the last episode, there's gonna be, well, there has been, a lot more shells that I had to memorize the locations of. I actually didn't even memorize any locations for the shells in the boiling caverns. I just kind of gave up at that point. But this one I did try to memorize. I think I noticed it before, but the way the music gets more and more amped up the closer you get here. Very cool. Okay, that's done. Where was that shell? I guess I should look it up now. It wasn't on the boat. We went on that boat. Like the small boat right there. Alright, let's just park ourselves right here if we don't slip off. While I find that last shell in this guide. We're up into the 40s now or something, I think. Yep, got the one in that room, got the one in along the cliff. Got the one through that grind rail. And after that they have... Oh wait, I guess I never got that one, even though I went there. Yeah, the rest of these shells are familiar, so okay. Back to the boat then. Turns out there were actually 3 shells right there that I missed. Diving headfirst into the wall like that, or the floor rather, feels very weird, but then you just smoothly glide out of it like you hit a ramp. So I was actually inside the boat here, which I did go inside. I got the stele that was inside. I also got a couple of secret chests, I guess. Turns out I missed the real secret, somehow. It was in here somewhere. Ah, I see why. I wouldn't have poked my nose into this. Okay, that is well hidden. I don't think the glow is even visible from the outside. And now we just end the stage. On to the last one. As we were going through the boiling caverns the first time, it felt like Well, I guess I felt like there weren't any secrets to find there. By the time we got to this part of the game, I think there were no more stele messages, right? Or I guess the last stele messages were inside the boiling cavern. But when we got that, it felt like there were no more secrets or something, like it would just be some kind of linear segment for the end of the game. Unlike the rest of the game, which had all of these secrets to find or whatever. But no, I was just missing all of them. I do wonder what the inside of that tower looks like, though. I guess we never really go inside it. Trying to use that cutscene to actually find the right part of the page with all of the shell locations for here. Kind of hard to scroll through those pages on the phone with all the ads and whatnot. I did see enough to see the first 2 or 3 shells, I guess. Around here. Literally around here. Oh. Don't die. Yeah, I wouldn't have known to check back here. Is that actually the glow behind the corner there? I think that's just the glow of the lava. Trying to get the boost here, it's not working. Got a trick better than that. There we are. I guess you really had to poke your nose around some random corners to find these. And the next one is apparently going to be in the next segment while we're inside, near a water bubble. Much easier to collect these with some boost, I guess. So here we have to get the water bubble, but somewhere around the edge here? What does the guide say? It's a pass somewhere around the stele, so I think it's actually further inside. And now that we actually got one shell, we have the total count here. 5 more to go, or 4 more. Not sure we can actually boost our way back. I'll play it safe. Alright, so here's that stele, and yeah, the pass I was missing. Looking at it now, it does look like a pass, doesn't it? Sort of. At least this ramps up a little bit, and then this part doesn't look like a pass, but it is playable space, despite how dark it is. And there's the shell. Don't think you would have noticed that from ground level. No, no way. Maybe the glow. The next one we need is also over by these boats, apparently. As for where it is, let's see. On the right side. A small cave, apparently, and my page just reset. Always happens with these weird websites. Must be something with the ads, loading in and crashing the page. Well, I think I got enough before it crashed. It's somewhere on the right side here. Oh. That one, I think, that boat. I don't think it's up here. Definitely not, but was I meant to go off of this boat there? Is that what they were saying? And it goes into some kind of cave. Let's try to find that page again. I see, it's off to the right side. I'm kind of looking in the right direction. So I think the route you're supposed to take is go off the boat here, and if you didn't have boost, you could just platform around the edge like this. This one's pretty hidden, but I guess this is like playable floor space that you might be able to recognize. And there we go. That's the third one. 2 more. Total of 50. I should look up where the other 2 are before I continue. So let's see. Near the start of the same area. Oh, the same area, okay. To the left is a round platform and a thin corridor. Okay. Guess I'm going back. Let's get this thing first. See if I can't boost over this. We can. Off to the right of this gate was the merchant. And they're saying off the left side here. There it is. Yeah, I wouldn't have known to look there. Only when you get enough height can you, I guess, recognize that there's a pass here. Guess there's plenty of time for you to go through it even without the boost and the super jump. Actually, let's try to do that on the way back. I guess you're just supposed to meant to hop on and off, and does that reduce the amount of fire that you get? Maybe. Actually, I think once we go through that gate, that's the end of the stage, so the last one... No, never mind, it's not the end. The room with the skeletons. Behind the stele. Okay, we'll find it. Behind the stele. Turns out right after this last stele there really were no more shells. I just didn't recognize that there were shells before the stele. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, I do actually have to stop on solid ground here. And here we go. Okay, I can see it now. It's still not obvious to me, but it becomes more obvious the closer you get, I guess. They also put these little candle pillar things, whatever they're called, candle stands. And that's it. We did it. We got the ancient armor, and we can create water rails anytime by triple jumping. That's our big thing. Oh wow, it is actually like a costume change. That is sort of like Journey, isn't it? In Journey you got the white cloak, which I think gave you better regeneration for your floating stuff. We don't have the red fire, but we do get the red armor, that's neat. And this is sort of like unlocking playing as the Wanderer mode. Not exactly, but we get the Wanderer's water rails, which we can do anytime we want. And we're sort of red like the Wanderer. We match now. This sort of makes sense as the last collectible, doesn't it? That you get that one last ability that was only for the one stage. It was the same thing with the boost, I guess. You unlock the boost for all stages, technically. With this whole tricking thing. Even though I unlocked everything now, we're still gonna go through and end the game properly. And this time I'm not gonna rush through this segment. We can also grind, so maybe we can live a bit longer. Kind of like in Halo Reach, the whole, lone wolf part. Damn it. I needed that. Okay, we didn't survive much longer. I wonder if there's anything you can find by getting pretty far with the boost and the grind and all that. There's probably no secret alternate ending where you get inside the tower and something else happens. Definitely not. I think as our big finale, we're going to try to defeat Tournamoon with getting no damage for that one trophy. I think I got hit 3 times last time, but it should be simple enough to avoid the damage. I say it's simple enough, but the execution I might just stumble on. Let's see how it goes. It's kind of neat that all of the cutscenes were wearing the red armor. They're all in-game cutscenes, of course, so... And there's something about this cutscene with this pillar of light. I was looking back on my footage with this, and it seemed like this is meant to be like, sort of like the tower, this pillar of light, which becomes a sword, and... Well, I guess what I was thinking of was the ending cutscene. Something about the sword and the tower being one and the same. Not literally, but just like symbolically or poetically. Okay. The real trial starts now. We look so cool. Take no damage, we have to avoid all the lasers, all the fire, and probably fall in no pits. This beginning segment should be fairly easy to avoid damaging. Just gotta avoid the rocks, basically. Oh, we can also grind on water. Damn, wait. Hang on. Okay, we're still fine, that's not damage. It's actually safe down here? Yeah, I gotta be careful with the grinding, that does halt my momentum, even during this part of the game, strangely enough. We don't have to go down the pipe, but we might as well. Oh, and I can still trick, can't I? And get boost. We can actually make this trip up the tower faster with some boost, I guess. Now the actual harder part. We just gotta make sure we don't go back on our own pass. Oh no, that's bad. There we go. Yeah, actually, the water rail is going to be pretty helpful here, so we don't fall back on the laser like the first time I got hit. Oh, that was almost close. Forgot about that attack. Pretty sure we haven't taken damage though, sometimes it's hard to tell. Damn. Well, it's over. It's so over. This attack actually harder to avoid than I thought. There is also the option to just go back to menu. I think we're fine though. We don't have to get the trophy. I have to get the trophy. How do I quit out? Unfortunately, we can't skip these cutscenes, so... Oh, we look good. Red and... yeah, our colors do kind of match. Yeah, it really is that one segment in the clouds that's the hardest part, I think. Grinding off of the half-pipe puts you into a bit of a... It kind of locks you in place, and maybe makes you easy pickings for the laser, or mainly the falling rocks. And there is no option to skip these cutscenes, but... they do start us right here. I guess they knew, for the trophy and all that. I think we make it slightly faster. Wouldn't have expected that much height. It's technically safer down here anyway. This almost feels like an a space elevator. The way that it's sort of connecting up with the moon. It sort of reminds me of Sonic Colors, I guess. That last boss battle. And we can't skip this cutscene. If I fail again, then we'll probably just head to the end, right? I don't want to sit through watching this cutscene over and over again during the finale episode, just because I failed the trophy. Or do I? Do I want to try over and over again because it's the finale episode? Maybe. So I think this is sort of standard boss rules. We just have to more watch the boss and focus on ourselves. Really just the momentum that's sort of hard to deal with sometimes. So somewhere around here we have to start watching out for other attacks. Yeah, that was close. I kind of put all momentum there. Alright, back under. I think the third attack is now coming. You actually get a boost if you... I think if you tap R1 the moment you hit the bottom of the ramp or the top of the ramp on your way down. Never noticed that. Alright, this move. We made it, okay. Maybe I should have practiced this part during my last run. I also got hit here with a big firewall in my first run, so gotta watch out for that one. Again, watch the boss more than yourself. We got boost, if that matters. I should probably be careful not to use boost though. I'm still doing the laser. And yeah, we have to hold left to go all the way around. We don't change direction or anything. Watch the edge. Is it doing an attack? There's a dolphin. We might have skipped a phase. Or not a phase. Just get some attacks, I guess. We really shouldn't get hit here. And now mash. Back to it. Alright, there's the firewall. Gotta jump over that. A bit easier now that we have high jump. Also got to attack while doing this, of course. Yeah, focus on avoiding the fire. Another jump. Go around this way. Might be doing the laser now, yup. Just keep circling around. Pick up things when we can. Pretty cool for a final boss. Circling this tunnel of water. Yeah, all of the attacks are pretty easy to avoid. It's just a matter of positioning. Damn it. I say that and I immediately got hit. And twice. It's actually a lot harder during this last part. I'm pretty sure this is the last segment though, so back to it. Yeah, we're doing this for the finale. One more roll. One more try. I'm actually still not too worried about that middle segment anyway. Oh yeah, we lost momentum there. Okay, maybe I should be worried about the beginning section now. This always happens, doesn't it? Getting worse in subsequent runs. Usually it's your first try that's the best. I think where I screwed up during that last segment was that I tried to double jump or high jump over two things in a row, but when you're not on the ground or the water or whatever, it makes it that much harder to actually scroll around to avoid the things that you can't jump over. So I probably just want like low hops, or I can use a dive to head back to the ground more quickly, right? It's safer to be on the lower level anyway. But if we're doing this anyway... Let's be careful with the boost too. It's a pretty obvious pattern, so we don't have to worry about it, but... Yeah, so if we press R1 when we hit this, does that like give us a boost, or... No, it seemed to only be in that one segment, or something. This is a pretty good part of the boss fight. They introduce this stuff to make you think, I need to collect these before you actually need to collect them. Even though you're probably fine if you don't collect any at this point. This time, for sure. If we're fast about this, we can skip a lot of the headache. I don't think Torn the Moon can point the laser while you're in the sky, or it can't point it up towards you off the half-pipe. So I think we should be fine as long as we jump over it. I say that. I hope that's true. Laser just always gets so close to me, I feel so nervous about it. Okay, there's that boost again. How did that happen? I think it has something to do with us firing that thing and... I don't know, the momentum it gives us. Just stay on the ground here. Okay, I think we're not good. There we are. That's the kind of scary part done. I do have to be careful here though. Kind of neat that they can summon this thing with this powerful sword. Cool attack. Tunnel of water attack. Now it can't rest on our laurels. Watch the boss. If it starts doing a laser, that's when it starts moving. Don't slow down too much just for the bubbles. But also, the faster we go through this, the less attacks we have to worry about. More laser, or not. And now the home stretch. Don't screw up. Alright, jump over that. Go around that. Go around this. Don't overextend. That's another jump. Yep, we can go faster to the ground with the dive. We gotta use that to make sure we can do this. And actually, if I can get some boost, I have a little bit of boost. We can use that to get out of a tricky situation later on. I should maybe be focusing on getting the bubbles, though. Oh, wait. We're good. Didn't have to worry too much. As long as we get through this, I think we're fine. That's it. The exact meaning of all of this still kind of escapes me, but I guess they're not being very explicit. Just kind of feels like the race was a temporary visitor here, meant to right the balance or something, and then when they're done, they leave. I can't really think of a reason why they have to die or whatever. I guess there's something inside of them that helps do all of this. We go to the mountains to shoot lasers into the tower and restore its power or something, but I guess at the very end, the race was the key to it all. Yeah, that shot. Where the tower becomes the sword, it feels like there's some kind of important relationship there that I'm not fully picking up on. And I guess you don't have to. It's still interesting poetry and imagery. Might as well watch through the credits one more time. I think the race was probably some kind of key to everything being restored. The very start of the game is like the sea empowering the race or something, right? That one drop of water that vivifies them, and then they start going through the land and using the sword, which is also revived, to restore all of the water throughout the land. And it was the same thing with the Wanderer. The Wanderer was kind of without power. It seemed like traveling this land without it until they met the race in the Lost Grotto, and they shared their power, I guess. And I think the Sword of the Sea was probably only the sword at the very end. Or was it the sword that the Wanderer had? Because the sword that we start the game out with is just sort of the race sword, right? In the lore, the Sword of the Sea is talked about as the Wanderer's weapon, the one that defeats Tornamoon or something. But of course the Wanderer would have that sword by the time the game starts, and all the different statues that we awake alongside ourselves at the beginning of the game, they have their own swords. Those aren't the Sword of the Sea. I'm pretty sure what we have is just some kind of replica, not replica, but we're just copying the same thing. Or like a second Sword of the Sea that they created after the first one. If I had to timeline this game, which it's not like a huge complicated timeline, but I guess Tornamoon appears and tries to break the cycle with whatever its powers are, the powers that even the gods fear. It tries to awaken the ghost warriors that are from an even more ancient past, way beyond the start of this timeline or something. Uses them to wage war against the people, the beings of the ocean, including the great shark and the great dolphin. The great shark downs a lot of ghost warriors or whatever, and then Tornamoon awakens a bunch of race with red fire, and the Wanderer enters the picture around then, where they have some kind of huge war. I'm not sure what the outcome is, but I guess the the cycle gets broken at some point, and then the wanderer is wandering around this cycle-broken fara or something. Up until the beginning of this game, where the race awakens because the sea is still alive somehow, and somehow chooses one of these dead race as the new host for its power or something. Which I guess was a good move in the end. And the events of the game plays out, we restore power to the Wanderer's sword, we lose both of our swords. But then even at that point, I guess the Sword of the Sea, the one that we use in this final stage here, still somehow gets revived. It's never really gone. I guess that's the idea, that the cycle can never really be broken or something. On that note, with everything unlocked, I guess we can call it there. Hopefully whatever Giant Squid creates after this is going to be in the same vein with really pretty imagery and smooth gameplay just like this, with fun platforming. I guess that might be their direction based on what they had with the Pathless. But I wouldn't object to another Abzu-like game. I'll look forward to whatever game comes out, but in the meantime I guess I can try to make some time for the Pathless, see what that's like. With that said, and the cycle restored, I suppose I can end this playlist with an appropriate sign-off. Good evening, good night, and good morrow.